you know we had to do it. Who we're talking about today? Today we're talking about 4 games. Yes, that's right. I know I'm behind. I have been through a whole tornado, been without lights for the past 3 to 4 days, and I finally just got my lights on. So I was like, why not talk about all the games that basically closed out this past series, the semifinals? So yes, first team we're going to talk about is going to be the Celtics, the Cavs. Then we have the Thunder, the Mavericks. Then we have the Nuggets, the Timberwolves. Last but not least, we have the Pacers. And then we have the New York Knicks. So first thing first, we're going to head it to the Eastern Conference. And that's going to be the Celtics and the Cavs. And the reason I chose them first, because the Celtics was the first team to basically close out this series. So it's just like, let's dive into it. Let's give you a recap, a showdown of the rundown. You know how we get down. First thing first, the Celtics taking it, winning the series in 5 games, 113-98. But the thing about it, when it comes to the Cavs, you had some key players that really just stepped up. And the first person I want to talk about, that's going to be Mobley. He had 33.7 rebounds, doing an amazing job. But the player that I want to talk about when it comes to the Cavs, and I am questioning, I'm pretty sure everybody else was questioning it too, like, where has he been the whole entire playoffs? Why haven't he played? And then that's going to be Morris. He had 25 points last night. He hit 10 out of 13 of his field goals, shooting 5 threes behind the arc. So it's like, big ups to you, Morris. Of course, it was not enough for the win, but it's like, I feel like if he was playing this great when they played, why not have him play the whole entire playoff series to, get your team over the top, especially when you didn't have key players playing. You didn't have Donovan Mitchell. You didn't have LeVert. You didn't have Jared Allen. So it's like, these are 3 key players. You had the leader of the team. You had your defensive player. You had your player coming off the bench, all not playing. And I really felt like, of course, if they was there, it definitely would have helped out the Cavs with winning at least more than 1 game. They only won 1. At least they got to win in Boston. So that is a great thing. And that's really what I had when it came to the Cavs. Like I said, no key players. And then the reserves or the other starters, they really stepped up. And now we're just going to head it over and talk about Boston. And of course, the first person I'm going to talk about, y'all already know who it's going to be. Number one, let's back up. All of their starters they were all in double digits. You had 2 of the starters having a double-double last night. And this is how we're going to top it off. The first person is going to be Jason Tatum. He had 25 points, 10 rebounds, doing his big one. Y'all already know when I talk about Jason Tatum, I tell y'all how consistent of a player he is. So it's like, you have to give him props when props is due. And now this is going to be their 3rd straight Eastern Conference Finals appearance. And it's like, what is it going to be? Like, are y'all going to make it out of this round, and are y'all going to be able to finish everything out? I feel like when it comes to Boston, they get so close into range where it's like, okay, they're either in the actual finals or they're in the Eastern Conference Finals, and it's like one of the 2, they don't finish it out. So is it like, is this their time to actually seal the deal, close it out, and just see like, hey, let's see how we coming, let's see how we rocking. I don't know what's in store when it comes to the Celtics. The next player I want to talk about when it comes to the Celtics, and that's going to be Al Horford, doing an amazing job. He also had a double-double, having 22 points, 15 rebounds, and this man made 6 threes last night. And y'all know he's a big man. So it's like, for you to get 6 threes, for you to have 15 rebounds, for you to really just be the player of the game, that's who I'm going to give it to. You did an amazing job last night. The threes just set it off itself. And it's just like being able to trust your teammates and know how to win the game, close out the game. It just shows a lot. It wasn't like the Cavs was down the whole entire game. They actually did pretty okay, from quarters 1 to 3. They wasn't down. It was just once the 4th quarter came, the Celtics went on a 13-2 run, and basically that just kind of sealed the game, closed it out, and they knew that the game was over, headed to the Eastern Conference Finals. But like I said, if you would have had those key players playing, I think it just would have changed the dynamic of the game. But you still have to give it up to the Cavs because they did a great job. even just making it this far. They haven't been here in a while. So it's like for y'all to do that, I love that for y'all. And now we're going to head it over to the next person in line. And that's going to be the Mavericks and the Thunder. The Mavericks winning the series in Game 6, 117 to 116. Once again, they had all of their starters in the double digits. And one thing I love about this game, this was a super exciting game to watch. Kyrie, he finally stepped up. Y'all know I've been telling y'all, like, he's been having 9 points, haven't been doing a great job to me in this playoff series. So it's like for you to finish it out in this last game, for you to really step it up. Him and Jones both finished with 22 points. So it's like, I love that for you. He always stays so positive. He's always encouraging his teammates. And like, Kyrie's really that guy. Like, he's gonna, if he's not doing great on the offensive end, he's gonna find somewhere else to like pick up that slack. And that's the thing about when you're playing sports. If you're not like, you notice like, okay, I'm not hot, I can't get no shots off, what else can I do to help out the team? Let me do that. Whether that's rebounding, whether that's assisting, whether that's playing great defense, whatever it is, it's like you have to find places to step up in other areas. And I feel like Kyrie did that. He really found his groove Saturday night where he was able to get his 22 points and then, you know, just take the lead and help his team advance to the Western Conference Finals. Yes, that's right. The next person, y'all already know who I'm going to talk about. That's going to be Luka. He had 29 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, getting him a nice triple-double in the postseason. But this is like light work for Luka. This is not even like surprising when it comes to him because this is what he does. When he gets hot, it's like he can't be stopped. One thing I do love about Luka, you can tell that he has fun with playing this game. He's always smiling. He's always encouraging his teammates. And once, like, I feel like once you find that chemistry with your teammates, everything else just starts to fall in line and really starts to click. And that's one thing I love about him. But who I really want to give the player of the game to when it comes to the Mavericks is going to be PJ Washington. I've told y'all he's been stepping up this whole playoff series where he's just been in the corner shooting threes, being a great defensive player, like really being an asset to the team. But the thing about PJ Saturday night, he could not get his shots. He did not have no points until the fourth quarter. But that's really when it counted. He really showed up. He really showed out. He came up. He came alive. And he hit some very great plays, making him like... So he only finished with 9 points this game. Like I said, he didn't have no points. He was already in foul trouble. He had 4 to 5 fouls. So boom, here I go. So boom, fourth quarter comes. He finally get his first shot. He gets a 3. Then he does another 3. Then he gets fouled. SGA, he fouls him with like less than 20 seconds left of the game. He makes 2 out of the 3 free throws, missing the last one basically on purpose because it was only 2.5 seconds left in the game. And OKC, they were out of timeouts. They couldn't challenge the ball. So basically it was like kind of like game over. Dallas got to finish it off in Dallas. So it's like, that's an amazing job. So it's like, sometimes it's really not about, like I tell y'all every single video, it's not about how you start, but it is how you finish. And PJ Washington did just that. He was able to get the groove in the fourth quarter. You didn't have to depend on whether it was going to be Kyrie to do something or Luka to do something. It's like you have other players on the team who's ready to step up and like just take charge. And that's really what PJ did. So I know that was basically, you know, like a really great relief for him. Because like I said, he didn't have no points the entire game. It was just like his shot just could not get off when he has been doing so amazing this whole playoff series. And now we're just going to switch it over and talk about OKC. Y'all already know the first person I'm going to talk about is going to be SGA. Yes, having 36 points last night, 8 assists, and then this is his playoff career high within points. Although it was not enough to pull off this game, he played his heart out. And when that's what I say, he can't do it alone. You have to have the other players step up. And I don't feel like everybody was quite there. You had a quiet Chet. Y'all already know when I talk about him being the rookie player, but he didn't really just show up. The only time I felt like he showed up to take the lead in the fourth quarter was 20 seconds left. Basically, he did a dunk and they were up 1 point, but like I said, they did not get the win. So obviously, it really don't even matter. And then the next person I want to talk about is going to be J-Dub. Jalen Williams having 22 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, doing an amazing job. I feel like he was one of the players that actually did step up to the plate, really helping out SGA, really helping out the Thunder. It just was not enough for the win. And the thing about it was Dallas was down 17 points at half. So that just shows you, like, when you want it bad, like, you don't give up. Like, you can't stop at the half. You can't get discouraged and be like, oh man, we down by 17. The game is not over until the last second of the game. When it says 0-0-0 at the end of regulation, that is when the game is over. So I love this for Dallas. Now, we're going to talk about the other teams so I can let y'all know who's all matching up, what games are going to be what this week. And now we're just going to head it over and we're going to talk about the Knicks and the Pacers. Now, this was such a sad game. The reason being, you had Brunson leaving the game with a broken hand. His left hand got broke. And that just sucks for the Knicks. It's like for y'all to lose the game in New York in Game 7, really bringing the crowd, bringing the heat. And it was just like the Pacers was like, we want it more. But the thing is, like, the New York did not have a lot of key players. Like y'all said, Brunson, he left. OG, he tried to play. He only played 5 minutes out the game. Obviously, you ain't have Julius Randle. It's like 4 out of 5 of their great starters and players did not play. And it just sucks for New York, because it's like, if y'all play like this without y'all key players, imagine when everybody is healthy, how y'all really gonna come out next season and how y'all gonna get the ball rocking and rolling. I feel like they would get very far. Like I said, just off of watching this whole playoff series, it's like, okay, I see y'all, how y'all coming. I see how y'all shining, and I love that for New York, the Knicks. Like, y'all had a hard fight when it came to the 76ers. It was like, okay, that was that one. Boom. Then y'all had a hard fight when it came to the Pacers. Boom. And it's like y'all have done this without key players, and I love that for y'all, because y'all are just going to get better and continue to grow. So let's just head into it, dive into the game, and talk about how everything went last night. First thing first, of course, like I said, the Pacers won 130-109. You had Brunson leaving the game. You had OG trying to play. It just wasn't enough. When it came to the Pacers, all of their starters did a fantastic job. That's one thing I have to say. And not one player, like, everybody stepped up. Every single person on the Pacers stepped up from the starters. So now we're just going to talk about it, and that's going to be first is going to be Tyrese Halliburton. Finishing, he had 26 points, 6 assists. And the thing that I love about him, like I told y'all, he's been quiet to me this playoffs, but when it's time to step up, I feel like he did just that last night. Being a great player, he was so happy. Of course, this is his first time. He's such a young player, and I feel like he's just going to continue to grow when it comes to the Pacers. He had on his, who shirt did he have on? Reggie Miller, basically, when they played in Madison Square Garden. It was kind of like a deja vu type of situation for you to wear that shirt, for you to be playing with the Pacers, for you to be playing against the Knicks, and then for y'all to get the win. It's like, that's really amazing to watch. So it's like, let's see how this is going to go when it goes to the next series, and that's who Pacers are going to play the Celtics. So I feel like this can be anybody game, because sometimes, you know, Boston, they come up short. Pacers, they've been playing at such great pace, fast pace, high energy, young team, real lit, like really ready to win. Like I told y'all already have somebody who already won a championship with the Pacers. That's going to be Siakam, him and Nembhard. I may be saying his name so wrong. Nembhard. Siakam and Nembhard both had 20 points last night. And then you also had Smith going 8 for 8, finishing with 19 points last night. So it's like, for you to go 8 for 8, it was just like the Pacers played so great last night. The field goal percentage, like they really made NBA history, like playoff history, for them to have. They scored 67% the entire night. They came out hot. They set the tone for the entire game. They were up 20 points when it came to the second quarter. So it's like they really fought to the end. They watched film. They was like, this is what's going to happen. And they did just that on the court. And that's what I love when it comes to such a young team, because it's like, it's literally anybody's game. You don't know who's going to win. And it's just like they really pulled this off to make history and win in Madison Square Garden, because y'all know that is such a hard arena to play in. And it's like for y'all to get that win, it's just like amazing for y'all. And I really do have to commend y'all for that, for doing just that. The Pacers, they literally outscored the Knicks the entire game. I'm not going to say the game was over before it started, but they just came out hot. Even in the first half, the field goals, they are 29 out of 38. Like, that is unheard of. Y'all only missed 9 field goals from the entire team. For y'all to just be playing like that as a collective, as a whole, great chemistry. It just really wanted it. But we're just going to head it over, talk about New York. Like I told y'all, Brunson, boom, left the game. And then you had DiVincenzo. And I feel like I've been saying his name wrong this whole entire time. DiVincenzo. Not really sure. But he really stepped up to the plate last night. He played to the very end. He finished with 39 points last night. So it's like, big ups to you, Villanova star, pulling your big one, scoring, having 9 threes last night. So that just shows you, it's like, okay, we have our players out. Who's the next person in line to step up? And it was like, it was just him. He was the next person to step up, and I love that for him. So it's like, big ups to you. You're only going to get better. That's all I can say. And then the next person who came off the bench is going to be Alex Burke. Y'all know he got traded from Detroit. So I feel like he really made a statement here in New York. He ended up having 26 points last night, doing an amazing job. Obviously, it was not enough to win the series, but y'all did get this to a game 7. And now it's like, you just got to get ready and be prepared for next season. Go ahead, head out on vacation and do your big one. We had Josh Hart. Y'all know I love him. He's been playing great defense, being great this whole entire playoffs, but he ended up fouling out last night. It just sucked for New York, because like I said, I wish they would have had a healthy team, and I feel like this series definitely would have went a whole different route. But since it didn't, it is what it is. You got to give the Pacers their props. They're getting ready to play the Celtics on Tuesday, and that's just what it is. And now we're going to head it over to the best game of the series, and that's going to be the Timberwolves and the Nuggets. Yes, the last game that I'm going to talk about, the Timberwolves taking it, winning the series in game 7, 108-100, knocking out the defending champs in Denver. The crowd was lit, and Anthony Edwards said, hush all that up. Even though Anthony Edwards did not even play a great game last night. Let's start there. Did not play great, but he was definitely an asset to the team. He's going to talk crap. He's going to talk crap the entire game. Talk crap to commentators, to the fans, to people in the back. See y'all in game 7. Let's finish out game 7. And it's like, he did just that. And what I love about Anthony Edwards, and basically what I was saying when it came to Kyrie as well, it's like, if you can't score, or if they double teaming you, find something else to do in the game where you are an asset. Because he only finished with 16 points last night. He had 8 rebounds, 7 assists. He only had 4 points at halftime. So that just shows you, like, they was really locking him up where he couldn't get no shots off. But he still had to be like the guard of the team, really had to facilitate the ball. And he did just that. It really worked out for him and for the Timberwolves. And I love that for him. And what Ant was saying was like, basically, I had to lock up Jamal Murray in the third and fourth quarter, and he did just that, because Jamal Murray, he came out hot. He had 25 points in the first half, and then once the second half came, he only had 9 points. But I know we're still talking about the Timberwolves, so let's just get it out. First 2 people, or I guess I already talked about Ant, but the next 2 people I want to talk about, that's going to be Cat and McDaniels, coming out hot, finishing strong with 23 points. You had Cat with the double-double. He had 23 points, 12 rebounds, and then just McDaniels doing an amazing job, playing great defense. His hustle, his drive really came alive last night, and I love that for him. I love that for the Timberwolves, like, just to even make history, go to the Western Conference Finals. Now they get to play Dallas. This is going to be a great matchup. It's like you have such a young team, then you have Dallas. They're young. Like, it's just like, it's going to be good. It's going to be a great series for the Western Conference Finals. And I just love that. You had Goldberg. Y'all know he's the defensive man of the year. He fouled out and basically at the end of the game in so many words. He had a couple of minutes left, fouled out. He was in foul trouble. Cat was in foul trouble. The thing about it, they was down 15 points at halftime. So like I said, same thing when it came to Dallas. They were down 17 points. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. It's like you got to finish the game. And what I love about, and even though he is 22, I know I keep talking about him, but he was telling his teammates, and you got to get on your teammates. He was like, y'all get too comfortable once y'all feel like we have a lead and y'all think we already won the game. And it's like, no, you got to fight that fight to the very end. And the Timberwolves, they just really came alive. They did just that. The thing about the Timberwolves, too, they did not start off great. They only had 19 points in the first quarter, and they had 19 points in the second quarter. I was like, dang, this is about to be a low-scoring game the way that they were playing. But it was like they were able to pull it off. The confidence was there. They did not give up, even though, you know, being down 15 points in Denver. And it's kind of like that can definitely be discouraging, but it did not stop the Timberwolves. And now we're going to head it over and talk about Denver. First thing first, we had a quiet Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon, both in single digits. I feel like they did not step up when needed. You only had two people stepping up. And the first person, you already know who it's going to be. It's going to be Nikola Jokic, the Joker. He had 34 points. This man had 19 rebounds last night and 7 assists, almost a triple-double, playing his heart out. They was locking him up, but he was still doing what he needed to do to try to get that win. It just was not enough. And then the next person who I said I was going to talk about, and that's going to be Jamal Murray. He ended up finishing with 35 points. Like I told y'all, he had the 26 points in the first half, and then it was a quiet second half because Anthony Edwards really put that defense on them. And it's like, y'all get to stay in Denver. Y'all ain't got to go nowhere because y'all was already at home. And I know this loss definitely has to suck to get it to Game 7, to be in Denver. And y'all made it this far for y'all to win last season. And it's like, we got knocked out. Somebody else is about to be a new champion in town. And that's just what it was. And y'all, that's really all I had. I know this was a lot. I know we talked about the Timberwolves, the Nuggets, the Cavs, the Celtics, the Knicks, the Pacers, the Mavericks, and the Thunder. Yes, all games have come, or this series have come to an end. So now you have the Pacers and the Celtics playing on Tuesday, and then you have the Mavericks and the Timberwolves playing on Wednesday. Both game ones, Eastern Conference Final, Western Conference Final, anybody's game. But y'all already know what I'm about to say. I need y'all to be productive. I was productive, so go ahead and do the same in return. Also, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on your notification bell so you can be alerted when who posts, when TB posts. Once again, I'm TB. Peace out. Bye.